Hello, this is SJ Talks Online coming back at you with another video. Tracy Ross was on Michelle Obama. She was on a couple. I think she was on another podcast. She was on Michelle Obama and her brother has a podcast here on YouTube, and she was on there. And she was, I think she was on another. She was on somebody else's podcast. And Tracy Ellis Ross is Diana Ross's daughter. She's been on the show Girlfriends. She's a very good actress. Very good actress. Um, she was on Blackish. She was on there for many years. Girlfriends and some movies and stuff like that. So she's a pretty well accomplished actress. She's an excellent actress. Um, Beautiful, talented. Well, she's Diana Ross's daughter. Can we expect anything less? And she expressed some regrets about being single. Because I think, how old is Tracy Ellis? I think she's 50. Is she 50? I know she's much younger than me. I think she's about 50, somewhere in there. Early 50s, somewhere in there. And she when she was on Michelle Obama and her brother's podcast, and then the other one, she was talking about, because she's been single, and she didn't have any children. I believe she's childless. There's a difference between being child free and childless. Child free is that you have no desire to have any kids. You have no plans to have any children. You have no desire to have any children. That's child free. Childless is you wanted children, but because you didn't have them because of circumstances. Um, Circumstances like you didn't, you wanted to wait till you got a decent marriage mate, or some women can't have them because of physical health problems, fertility issues. In her case, she didn't have children because well, she didn't find a suitable marriage mate. Because some women actually want to be married to have children. Well, you should be married before you have them. So you should be. So some women want to wait until they get a marriage mate to have children. So she never. I think she dated some guys. I guess she. I don't know how. I don't really know what her dating history is. But she, whatever relationship she had, didn't really work out, and she didn't find a man, or a man didn't find her, or whatever, that was suitable for marriage, for her to get married and produce a child with. It's life. It happens. It is what it is. Um, and a woman only has a certain window of time that she can healthily have a baby. Um, that's probably from the age of um, from 18, because we ain't talking about before 18. From the age of 18 till early 40s. And for early 40s is kind of pushing it. That because like after the age of 35, if you have a baby after the age of 35, it's considered a geriatric. They call it a geriatric pregnancy. That's what they call it. If you have a baby over the age of 35, they call it a geriatric pregnancy. So, um, early 40s, you're kind of pushing it. But lots of women have children in their early 40s. But you're kind of pushing it in your early 40s. Um, and so that's the window. I would say from the from the ages of 18 to 35, or 18 to 40, is when you can, maybe that's probably the healthiest window of time. With each year probably after the age of 35 getting a little bit riskier. That a window of time that you can probably safely, healthily have a baby. Of course, lots of women have healthy babies in their early 40s, and some beyond that. We all know Janet Jackson had one at 50, and but she probably had the impeccable health care. But anywho, she didn't find a suitable marriage mate in that period of time to 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 pop out some babies for her. I don't blame her. I don't blame her on that. You got to make sure you got the you got to make sure you got a decent man, and even that's no guarantee, because you know how men like to flip the script on us. That's no guarantee, because they can be good when you hook up with them, and then on down the road they flip the script on you. So that's no guarantee. But at least you want to know going in that he gonna be good. At least going in. It's a difference between being a single parent. I think it's a difference between being married and becoming a single parent versus never marrying at all and becoming a single parent. To me, it's different. It's just different. It just hits different. Anywho, she was expressing her, I guess, disappointment in not getting married. Of course, she said she wanted to get married and she wanted to have a family. And she was they said she was expressing. I didn't get the chance to fully watch I watched some of the Michelle Obama interview, but I didn't really get to that part where she was talking about that. But, she, of course, a woman that desires to have a child, of course, is gonna, if they never happen to materialize, of course they're gonna have some type of regret. But what she was saying in addition to that, well, she wasn't willing to settle. I guess that's what people are up in arms about. She said that people are up in arms and upset about the fact that she said that she didn't want to settle. Well, what is the problem with that? I think that's what people are upset about. People are upset about the fact that she said she didn't want to settle. Okay, then she didn't want to settle. When a woman does settle and have a baby by somebody, then she gets called every name in the book. Because black single mothers are stigmatized in the black community. I don't care what nobody say, it's stigmatized. It's a stigmatization. And I didn't realize how much of a stigma it was until I got here on YouTube. That it's a huge stigma. We get trashed. Black single mothers, we get trashed. So that's why I don't understand why they keep ragging on black women or women in general, that are particularly black women that don't have children. I don't know why people want to rag on black women that child-free or childless black women. I don't know why they want to rag on them, because, okay, if she becomes a single mother, she's gonna get trashed for that. Because you would think people wouldn't do that, because the way they trash single mothers. I've gotten trashed after both of my sons are grown, and every now and then I'll still get a whacked out comment about me being a single mother. I said, well, that discussion is null and void. My sons are grown now. That don't make no difference to them. If folk want to trash me about it, they gonna still trash me about it. Black single mothers are trash. We are trash from here to Timbuktu. They don't care. So but then they're trying to turn around on the flip side and rag on child-free and childless black women. It doesn't make sense. It don't make no sense to me. And so that's what she was saying. I wanted to get married and I wanted to have a child, but I didn't want to settle. Well, what is the problem with that? What is the issue? I don't see nothing wrong with that, but I guess that's what people are upset about. People are up in arms about the fact that she said she didn't want to settle. I don't blame Tracy. She shouldn't settle. She shouldn't have settled. Because what happens when a woman has a baby by a pookie? Or you didn't know he was a pookie when you got pregnant by him, and then on down the road you found out he was a pookie. Or he became a pookie. Or you have a baby by a deadbeat. When you first hooked up with him, you didn't know he was a deadbeat. Okay. Either you were too young to even really realize it, or you was in a state of oblivion, or you was too in love or lust to really realize that this man was a deadbeat. And you got pregnant by him, and things didn't work out. You being a single mother, you get trashed for that. You should choose better. That's the number one thing they say to us. We should choose better. So yes, she should have standards. Yes, she should. Tracy should not have settled. She made the right decision by not settling. She was absolutely right by not settling. And I am very proud of Tracy for not settling. Because that's what a lot of us did, and we winded up becoming single mothers. Okay? So absolutely, she was correct in saying that. I don't know why people are all up in arms about that when she said that. What is the problem with that? Because of her status, because of her career status, because she's an actress, and because of her net worth. I don't know how much she's worth, but she got some coins because she's a popular actress. This is her career. She's got some coins. She probably wanted someone on her level, and she couldn't. When a woman get to a certain level, she can't find a man on her level. It's hard to find a secure, a good marriage mate that's on your level, that's not going to be intimidated by your success. It's very difficult when you get to her level of success. It's very difficult to find a man that's going to be secure, because the male ego is something to be reckoned with. And so it's hard to find a man that's going to be secure in that. At her level is success. Lots of women, she ain't the only one, lots of women have a hard time securing a stable marriage mate at that level of success. And she said she wasn't willing to settle, so she shouldn't be willing to settle. I don't know why people are ragging on her about that. What's the problem? But yeah, she shouldn't be settling. She shouldn't be settling. Tracy Ross, you did the right thing. You did the right thing by not settling. I don't care what nobody say. Block out the haters. Because I guess that's what people are up in arms about. She said she wasn't willing to settle. And so I'm glad that she didn't settle. She was one of the smart ones. And she didn't get caught up having a baby by a man that's a total loser. She made the right decision. Because I've said on here time and time again, it's better, and I know some women probably don't want to hear that, it is better for a woman to not have a child than to bring a child into this world with a deadbeat dad. Because that child winds up suffering without that. That's a whole nother video. It really affects the child. It really affects the child. When that child don't have two stable parents, it really affects that child. It really does. And it affects boys and girls. So I always say, and being a single mother is a hard life. Even if you got money, it's a hard life. So I always say it's better for a woman to not have children than to have them by somebody that's not the right mate. That is not the right mate. That is not going to be a suitable, stable marriage mate for you, and a stable father to that child. It is better it's just better. It's better for you, and it's better for that child. Single parenthood is a child growing up in a single parent home is a hard life. It's a hard life for you, and it's a hard life for that child. So she definitely made the right decision by not settling. So people need to go on somewhere with that. But let me know if you've seen that Tracy Ross. You've seen any of her interviews, and I know people are up in arms about that. People are up in arms because she says she wasn't willing to settle. And black men have been ragging on her, and I had done a couple of other videos because that ugly man on here, what's his name? O'Shea Duke Jackson, he likes to try to rag her every chance he gets. And he got his nerve. So I had to do a video cracking on him and leave Tracy Ross alone. Leave Tracy Ellis Ross alone. Leave her alone. She is fine the way she is. So what if she don't have a husband? So what she doesn't have any children? She did the right thing by not settling. And it's not too late for her to get married. And she still can be a mother. She can adopt. It may be a little late for her to physically have a child, but she can adopt. Okay? She can adopt. There's lots of children out here that, and nowadays, they all outlaw abortion in a lot of states. She'll be able to might get her a brand new baby, and she still wants to be a mother. Naomi Campbell got her a couple of kids. I think both of her children are adopted. And Naomi Campbell is in her 50s. The model, the supermodel, Naomi Campbell, the fiercest one in the business. I think her and Tyra is up there. They are the fiercest black models in the business. Naomi Campbell, I think both of her babies are adopted. She adopted them, and she's over 50. Yes. So Tracy, she could still adopt a child, and she could still. Of course, it's never too late to get married. So what's the big deal? But you did the right thing. She did the right thing by not settling. A woman should never, ever, ever, ever settle. Because us women that did settle, we found ourselves caught between a rock and a hard place. Being baby mamas and stuff. It never benefits a woman to settle. Never. Under any circumstances regarding marriage, children, it never benefits women to settle. Women should never settle. And that's women of all races. A woman should never settle. So, Tracy, good for you. You did the right thing, sister. Hit me up in that comment section. Let me know what you think about that. Hit that like button. And I'll see you guys later. Ooh, I'm hot.